in our package tonight. President Tinubu tasked state governors on food sufficiency, assures Nigerians on efforts at mitigating economic hardship. Governor Moino inaugurates 2 boards tasked members on professionalism. Akwa Ibom government releases over 4 billion naira for workers' welfare, gratuities, scholarships, others. Plus, Uniyodon sues federal government on policy consistency in agri sector to promote use of local raw materials. Details shortly. A very good evening to you and welcome to AKBC 45 News at 8. I am Iyageno Paul. President Bola Tinubu has emphasized the need for greater urgency in massive food production by state governments across the federation. The president made the call during the 142nd Economic Council meeting in Abuja. President Tinubu tasked state governors across the country to make consultations on how to achieve food sufficiency and revert to him within 7 days, while assuring them of his support to ensure that Nigerians are relieved from the current economic crisis and allow everyone access to affordable, high-quality food supply. The state governor, Pastor Moino, has inaugurated the boards of the State Asset Management and Infrastructure Agency and that of Akwa Ibom State Investment Corporation (AKBC), with a task on them to brace for the enormous task ahead of them. Congratulating the board members of the committees, the governor reminded them to take cognizance of the fact that the appointment is strictly tied to professionalism and competence. Our Government House reporter Utebi Makon has details.
Inaugurating the Akwa Ibom Investment Corporation (AKBC) and State Asset Management and Maintenance Agency, Governor Moino, while outlining his expectations, stressed the importance and the need for the state to have an asset register where all government assets can be tracked, adding that any state investment not properly documented under AKBC ceased to be an investment of the state. The governor stated that AKBC has been saddled with the responsibility to come up with policies that will foster development in the state, while ensuring that doing business in the state is made much more easier, while directing the AKBC board to swiftly fast-track the state investment within and outside the state. Governor expressed confidence at the caliber of professionals chosen to drive the agencies and admonish against any form of tribalism and nepotism.
Let me, on behalf of the government and people of Akwa Ibom, congratulate all of you that have made it to this board today. I'd like to mention that this is not a political board, even though we don't say that you shouldn't be politicians. These are professional boards, and you have been selected based on your competence and what we feel that you will be able to bring to the table. The board of AKBC still has one person. We're searching, and when we find that one person, we will announce, and she will join you, because the lady, really, we want the board to have a gender-friendly look, you know.
The governor, while stressing the need for state asset register and fast-tracking of state investments, charged the appointees to work to the best of their ability. Also announced plans to inaugurate boards of other key agencies next week.
There's no need, anybody will not be sitting down to work. I expect all of you to be out there inspecting. I'm not going to give any of you any jeep at all. I'm giving you pickups to walk, so that jeep, forget it. I'll give you pickups. That's what you need, because you are going on inspection. You are going everywhere. 1 year into this office, I've not bought one vehicle for myself. You enter office, you start to buy cars. The same people will say, I don't want them a motor. 1 year after, I believe we have connected with the people. We are still connecting with them. So, a lot of things that people complained about in the first year, we will change. But we can only change when we are sure that we have taken care of those local people and they are happy. If economy is hard with us in the city, have we ever thought of how they are feeling?
Board members of Akwa Ibom State Investment Corporation are Obongide Owokong Edemekong, Chairman, Pastor Mobasi, Managing Director, Barrister Ben Odowa, Executive Director, Pastor Godwin Watt, Non-Executive Director, Mr. Dorinyenang, Executive Director. Other members included the Commissioners, Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Investment, Ministry of Lands, Ministry of Economic Development, Ministry of Agriculture, and the Attorney General and Commissioner for Justice. Members of the Akwa Ibom State Asset Management and Infrastructure, Eldo Sam Omotan, Executive Chairman, Professor Comfort Etok, Mr. Joshua Ndonibe, Permanent Secretary, Office of the Secretary to the State Government, Accountant General, State Director of Fire Service, while the Secretary and Legal Advisor of the Asset Management and Infrastructure Board is Barrister Victor Bob. Otobi Mokun, AKBC News.
Ikorobueka Ikoridem Road in 18 and local government areas, as well as some internal roads in the University of Uyo main campus are to be constructed in honor of former Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Okpan Hogan Ekbu. Governor Moeno made this known during the 70th birthday celebration, retirement, as well as the maiden valedictory lecture organized to celebrate Professor Ekbu. The Anambra State Governor, Professor Charles Soludo, was among dignitaries who attended the event.
At the event, Governor Moino saluted Professor Okpan for his contributions to the development of the education system and the nation's economy. While congratulating him on his tripartite celebration, Pastor Ino promised to construct the Ikorobueka Ikoribum Road in Etinan, where Professor Okpan hails from, and some internal roads in the University of Uyo. Governor Moino equally commended the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Uyo, Professor Njaudo Ndayo, for putting together the event in honor of the septuagenarian.
Let me start, sir, by wishing you, on behalf of the government and people of Akwa Ibom State, very happy birthday, and thank God for the meritorious service you have given, not just to our state, not just to our nation, but to the world. We thank God for the gift of you, and we thank God that you are leaving the University of Uyo in robust health, and signaling your retirement from active lectures, but you cannot retire from your intellectual capacity, you cannot retire your vibrant mind, you cannot retire the things that has made you dear to all of us. We pray that God will continue to give you the strength and the ability and capability to carry on in Jesus' name.
The lecture held at the Professor Okpan Hogan Center, University of Uyo, also had the Governor of Anambra State, Professor Charles Soludo, pay tribute to the celebrator.
We have come here to celebrate an impactful life of impact, 70 years. Seriously speaking, Professor Okpan is one of those few Nigerians worthy to be celebrated.
A former lecturer in the Department of Economics, University of Uyo, Dr. Sikbo Isienibok, and a former secretary to the state government, Mr. Manu Mana, as chairman and co-chairman of the event. In their remarks, recalled Professor Okpan contributions to knowledge and administration and wish him well in his future endeavors.
Okpan worked very hard and made the dean's list. The first year, the second year, in fact throughout, and that liberated time and opportunities for him for extracurriculum engagements.
The man we are celebrating today, Professor Akpan Hogan Ekpo, he needs no introduction. He's a strong brand, strong Akwa Ibom brand, strong Nigerian brand, a global icon, a global economist.
In yet another move to fulfill his electioneering promises of prioritizing the welfare of civil servants in the state and the commitment to the development of a highly educated and skilled populace, Governor Moino has authorized the immediate release of the sum of 4.75 billion naira for these subheads. A release signed by the Chief Press Secretary to the State Governor, Mr. Kerite Udo, says the release of the fund is in line with the governor's Arise agenda as well as help cushion the effects of the current harsh economic realities. According to the release, 2.3 billion naira is for the payment of gratuities for retired civil servants, retired primary school teachers, and retired local government workers, while 1.1 billion naira is for the one-off payment of wardrobe allowance for 20,345 public primary schools, technical college and secondary schools teachers. Other monies approved by the governor include 1 billion naira for the payment of bonuses of 20,000 naira each to the 52,000 public service workers is announced by the governor during the recently concluded Public Service Week event. The sum of 79 million naira for the award of full scholarships to 4 Akwa Ibom indigents recently granted admission to study the standard pilot course and standard air traffic control course at the Nigerian College of Aviation Technology, Zaria. Additionally, 104 million naira has been released as the first tranche payment of the 2024 leave grants to primary school teachers and 172 million naira as severance gratuity package for chairman and vice chairman of local government councils who served between 2018 and 2022. The release of these funds further deepens the compassionate disposition of Governor Eno towards the downtrodden, which he had promised to champion. The construction of a Rise Agenda compassionate homes throughout the state, which he is currently being celebrated for, the monthly 50,000 naira palliative for the elderly care throughout the state, the funding of free medical outreach programs, the Arise Free Food Voucher Program executed under the Bulk Purchase Agency, and the 2 billion naira interest-free loans to traders as well as Arewa, Yoruba, Igbo, and Niger Delta communities in the state. Others are the 500,000 naira grants each given to the over 800 budding entrepreneurs under the Boom LED Entrepreneurship Accelerator Program (EAP), the payment of bursary and other educational grants among other funds towards the expansion of soft infrastructure, while also executing bold and audacious hard infrastructure, or define Governor Moino as a man who has kept faith with his campaign promises. Akwa Ibom beacons as the major tourism hub and business belt of the country following federal government's decision to commence the construction of Section 3 and 4 of Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway in the state. Akwa Ibom Governor Pastor Moino, who broke the news during PDP stakeholders meeting held at the banquet hall of Government House, Uyo, said the Minister of Works, Engineer Dave Umahi, will perform the flag-off ceremony of the project in the state this weekend, and who emphasized the essence of partnering critical stakeholders in the development of the states, held the federal government for bringing the flag-off events to the states. According to him, the project would create employment opportunities for for the teeming youths and boosting tourism potentials in the state. The completion of the major economic artery to pass through such coastal areas are Ikorobasi, Eastern Obolo, Ibeno, and Mbo local government areas of the state to complement the ongoing Ibom Deep Sea port with their accessories, industrialization layout, hospital, school, and other socio-economic catalysts. We'll take a short break now. When we return, Don sues federal government on policy consistency in agri sector to promote use of local raw materials. And Mary Slazer Ken Glow Foundation marks first anniversary, deals out food cash to pastors' widows. Details after the break.
This is a home where we all belong. The place where life is beautiful. The peaceful ambience we enjoy when we live together in unity and love. It's a man, and we go stand together, we go make them better. We be brothers and sisters, no matter where we stay. It's a man, and no matter where we stay, we are one. Let's live together in peace and harmony. Yeah.
It's so good to have you back, and now to our remaining stories. A professor of Brewing Science and Technology, Department of Food Science and Technology in the University of Uyo, Professor Augustine Chema Obonna, has urged the Nigerian government to be consistent with policies that promote and encourage the cultivation of local raw materials for beer brewing. This is to enable breweries operating in the country increase the use of such material in production. Professor Obonna, whose area of specialty is malting technology and brewing enzymology, presented the 102nd inaugural lecture of the university on the topic From Barley to Sorghum, a paradigm shift for the Nigerian brewing industry. It's held at the 1,000-seater Tate Fund Auditorium main campus in Wangiba Road, Uyo. Margaret Bassey reports.
The brewing science and technology specialist made a case for Nigerian government to put an end to policy reversal and concentrate efforts at developing a sorghum breed that is capable of replacing imported barley as the main ingredient for beer production in the country. He stressed that government should enact a supportive and effective national agricultural policy to ensure compulsory, widespread, and proper utilization of local farmers of high-yield sorghum hybrid seeds that would be developed through research funded by brewing companies in the country. Highlighting the health benefits of beer, Professor Obonna stated that moderate alcohol consumption has a protective effect against bacterium, which is responsible for stomach ulcer, while light intake of beer protects increased bone mineral density and decreased risk of fracture.
The federal government of Nigeria commanded the brewers through what was called Structural Adjustment Program to engage backward into agriculture. The aim was to source their raw materials locally, and the second reason was to conserve the then dwindling foreign exchange.
The brewing professor made reference to the word of God, noting that wine, which is frequently mentioned in the scriptures, has an average alcohol control of 12% by volume, while beer has 5% volume, explaining that both the Old and New Testament support moderate use of alcoholic beverages as they are beneficial to health. He, however, warned that frequent alcoholic consumption and abuse could negatively damage the nervous system. He recommended that the university, corporate organizations, and individuals should complement the efforts of building and equipping a standard brewing science and technology laboratory in the Department of Food Science and Technology to make the University of Uyo a true center for brewing excellence in Nigeria to fulfill the dreams of its founding fathers.
Somebody who at the age of 600, God commanded him to build an ark. The Bible said that this man was very wealthy and was a farmer. He planted large acres of vineyard, harvested his grapes, used it to prepare wine. And for my students who do wine making technology, for somebody to prepare wine of that quality, that means the person must be a good vintner. And not only that, you can't prepare wine that will intoxicate without introducing a microorganism. And the microorganism introduces yeast. And that yeast is just not ordinary yeast. But this yeast is called Saccharomyces cerevisiae variety ellipsoides. For Noah to know all this, can't you know that Noah is also a professor of microbiology?
The Vice Chancellor of the University of Uyo and Chairman of the inaugural lecture, Professor Nyaudon Dayu, commended Professor Augustine Ogbonna for the thorough research and assured that with such study, the University of Uyo could produce a beer of its own in addition to Uyo water.
He has also assured us that he is eager to produce beer with Uyo label. Right, next time you buy a bottle of beer, check out for the label. It could be Uyo beer, Uyo lager. Inaugural lecture is given a kind of place in the University of Uyo because that's the time to separate boys from men and girls from women. So, congratulations.
The event featured presentation of gifts to the inaugural lecturer.
A non-governmental organization that has impacted positively on the lives of the people of the state, Mary Slessor Kanglo Foundation, is 1 year today. To celebrate its 1 year anniversary, the foundation gathered select widows of pastors from various churches across the state and presented food items as well as 25,000 naira each to them. Yours truly reports. For the past 1 year, Mary Slessor Kanglo Foundation, which was unveiled June 28, 2023 in Akwa Ibom, has been touching the lives of the widows, multiple birth children, their parents, women, students, youth, and the less privileged. To mark its first anniversary, the foundation invited pastors' widows from across church denominations to the Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, Uyo Parish, Wellington Bassey Way, Uyo. Addressing them, the founder and president of the foundation, Dr. Glory, said God has been faithful for the past 1 year in enabling the foundation to empower and touch the lives of different categories of people. Dr. Edith said they had to select pastors' widows to present them food and money as part of the anniversary of Mary Slessor Kanglo Foundation and promised to continue touching lives. She lauded Governor Moino and wife Patience for their passion in ensuring the safety and well-being of Akwa Ibomites.
And this 1 year, God has been faithful. God has used us to touch some lives. God has used us to create positive impacts in the society. That is why we decided to come here to his sanctuary to tell him thank you for this day being the first anniversary of Mary Slessor Kanglo Foundation. I want to thank God for sending Mary Slessor to this part of the world.
The chairman board of trustee of the foundation, Dr. Kaniyena Kankpo, and coordinator Mrs. Jane Essien appreciated God for the sustenance and His grace on the foundation to touch thousands of lives in just 1 year.
It is not the volume of gifts that is important, but it is the love, the behavior, and the heart to share the gift with you.
Thank God, especially for His grace upon the founder of this foundation, Dr. Glory. This is a woman that is poised to duplicate the good works of Mary Slessor at this point in time.
Messages of goodwill from the Honorary Special Advisor to the Governor on Religious Affairs, Reverend Ndwese Kwere, Clerk, Abasibum Synod, Reverend Itorowo Johnny, the Chaplain, Mary Slazer Chapel, Reverend David James, pointed to the fact that Dr. Glory Edith has the gift of motherhood and the passion for giving.
That is why I say that faith is embedded in her. Whether as a commissioner, whether as Dr. Glory Edith, she knows that she must do something for the less privileged.
And on behalf of ourselves, I want to appreciate the foundation for this move.
People who are far richer than her, but you see passion towards humanity.
The Akwa Synod moderator of Presbyterian Church of Nigeria, Right to Reverend Theophilus Basi, at the event exhorted the widows on holding unto God.
So you must think about why God has laid this body in your heart.
Each of the pastor's widows went home with a bag of rice and 25,000 naira. Eyageno Paul, AKBC News. Congratulations to Mary Slazer Kangler Foundation for an impactful 1 year of existence. The Cross River State Command of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it has secured 19 convictions for drug-related offenses between January and June this year. Disclosing this in an interview with newsmen, the State Commander Rachel Umebuali said a total of 142 persons were arrested for various drug-related offenses across the state within the period under review. The NDLEA official further said 6 persons were carried under prosecution of the accused persons were during the period. Mebuali said the command a total of 525.6 kilograms of different illicit drugs in the past 6 months. It's clear that illicit drug dealers were constantly devising diverse ways to perfect their trade without being caught, while restating the agency's commitment to religiously undertake its duty of tackling drug trafficking and rid the state of drug addiction and abuse. That's a package this evening, but before we get another look at the top stories. President Bola Tinubu has emphasized the need for greater urgency in massive food production by state governments across the Federation. Tinubu, who made the call at the 142nd Economic Council meeting in Abuja, tasked state governors across the country to make consultations on how to achieve food sufficiency and revert to him within 7 days. We also brought a report that the state governor, Pastor Moino, has inaugurated the boards of the State Asset Management and Infrastructure Agency and that of Akwa Ibom State Investment Corporation, AKBC, with a task on them to brace for the enormous task ahead of them. Congratulating the board members, the governor reminded them to take cognizance of the fact that the appointment is strictly tied to professionalism and competence. That's all we have for you this evening. We are so happy that you've been with us. Good night.